The rain fell in hard, violent sheets, turning the abandoned textile mill into a dark, echoing chamber of dripping steel and broken windows. Ayan wiped the water from his brow as he pushed the rusted side door open, its hinges screaming against the storm. Behind him, Zara slipped inside with a low curse, followed by Rafi, each step quiet, controlled, and laced with tension. This wasn't the kind of job you took unless you were desperate, and all three of them were. Ayan raised his flashlight and swept the beam across the cavernous room. Decaying machines stood like skeletal remains of a long-forgotten era. Tattered cloth hung from rusted frames like funeral banners. "We stick to the plan," he whispered. His voice didn't echo. It was swallowed whole by the suffocating silence. Zara pulled her hood lower. 10 minutes in, 5 out, no mistakes. Rafi smirked, adjusting the strap of his backpack. "You say that like Ayan's ever made one." Ayan didn't respond. Not because he disagreed, but because tonight everything felt wrong. The blueprint they'd bought for this building was old, but it showed one thing clearly. Deep in the center of the mill was a vault. A vault said to hold the black budget diamonds of Governor Malik, a man who kept more secrets in the dark than he ever spoke in the light. No cameras, no guards, no power. Just a vault in a dead building. At least, that was the story. They crossed the floor slowly, boots crunching softly against broken glass. Ayan felt every sound like a threat, every shadow like a warning. Zara kept close to him, her breathing slow, controlled. Rafi hung back, eyes darting around nervously, but his hands ready, always ready. Ayan reached the old office door, metal slab eaten by time. He pushed it open and stepped inside. There it was. The vault. Massive, ancient, sitting in the center of the room like an iron tomb. Oil barrels and dusty crates surrounded it, as if the mill had been built around the vault instead of the other way around. "There she is," Rafi whispered, awe in his voice. Ayan approached, dropping to one knee and brushing his fingers across the cold steel. Mechanical lock, no digital system. "That makes it easier and harder to cheat," Zara added. Ayan pulled a small leather pouch from his coat and removed his tool-sleek picks. Tension wrenches and a custom decoding stethoscope he'd built himself. Rafi whistled softly. "Every time you pull that thing out, I feel like we're stealing from a warlord." Ayan focused on the lock, not giving the comment life. "You're not far off." The storm roared outside, thunder rumbling like some ancient beast waking from sleep. Inside the mill, silence ruled. Ayan placed the stethoscope against the vault and began turning the dial. Soft clicks echoed into his ears, one a whisper, a clue. Zara stood guard at the door, while Rafi paced behind them. Restless? "Stop pacing," Zara snapped without looking back. "Can't help it. Place feels cursed." Ayan agreed, but he kept working. Minutes passed, then click. A satisfying, deliberate, mechanical shift. Ayan exhaled softly. First wheel. 3 more. Zara nodded, glancing at her watch. 8 minutes left. Ayan worked faster. Click. Second. Thunder boomed so loud the entire room shuddered. Dust drifted from the ceiling like ash. Rafi cursed under his breath. "I swear, this place is gonna collapse on us." Click. Third, Ayan's voice was steady, but his gut twisted. Something about the sound of that third wheel was off. A vibration. A faint metallic hum. But he didn't have time to question it. Rafi stopped pacing, stopped breathing. Ayan didn't look up. "Not now." "You need to look." Ayan froze. His eyes lifted slowly. Zara wasn't at the door. She was standing beside Rafi. Both of them were staring at him. Both of them were holding guns. Ayan's blood ran cold. His mind stalled. The betrayal hit harder than the storm outside. Rafi's voice was flat, emotionless, as if this moment had been rehearsed for weeks. We're finishing the job without the extra share. Ayan's throat tightened. So that's it. You needed me to open it. Zara's jaw clenched, guilt flickering in her eyes. We don't want to hurt you. You already did, Ayan whispered. And then click. The final wheel turned on its own. Ayan's heart stopped. That wasn't him, and the vault wasn't unlocked. The pressure sensor beneath the lock had activated. A faint beep echoed from inside the steel. Ayan's eyes widened. Oh no. The vault wasn't protecting diamonds. It was protecting a trap. And now it was awake. For a split second, the world seemed to stop. The faint beep coming from inside the vault grew into a steady, pulsing rhythm, cold, mechanical, deliberate. Zara's grip on her gun faltered. Even Rafi stepped back, his confidence thinning into raw fear. Ayan rose slowly from the vault, hands raised. You idiots. This whole place is booby-trapped. Rafi swallowed hard. What do you mean booby-trapped? The blueprint was a fake, Ayan snapped. You think a politician like Malik leaves millions in stones, sitting in an abandoned mill with no guards, no power, and no alarms. He pointed at the vault. This isn't storage, it's a bait box. A trap for anyone dumb enough to try and pry it open. Thunder cracked outside, echoing through the hollow mill like a death knell. Zara lowered her gun a fraction. We didn't know. You didn't want to know, Ayan muttered. You just wanted me out of the way. Rafi's eyes flicked to the vault, panic crawling across his face. Okay, fine. We did what we did. But you need to fix this. Turn it off. Ayan stared at him. Why would I help you? Zara took a breath, steadying herself. Because if that sensor is connected to an explosive, it's not. Ayan cut in. It's worse. They all turned toward him. Ayan pointed to the walls of the office. Faint red dots blinked from places that had looked like rust or decay moments earlier. Embedded motion sensors, pressure plates, laser tripwires hidden beneath layers of dust. All activated now, all pulsing with quiet menace. Zara's face drained of color. Oh my God, Ayan nodded grimly. This room is a cage. The second I touched the last wheel, it armed every security system in the building. Rafi took a cautious step back, then froze as a laser line shimmered beneath his boot. He didn't breathe, didn't blink. Ayan, he whispered. Please tell me that's not it, Ayan said quietly. Move your foot an inch, and this room becomes your cremation chamber. Rafi trembled violently. Zara's voice broke. Ayan, help him. Ayan looked at her, a woman who once dragged him out of a burning safe house. The woman who once said she'd take a bullet for him. The woman now pointing a gun at his chest. Fine, he muttered. But the gun goes down. Zara hesitated. Rafi hissed. Zara, put it down. I'm standing on a bloody landmine. Our trembling fingers loosened. The gun dipped. She set it gently on a crate. Ayan exhaled, moving carefully. Step by slow step, he approached Rafi. He examined the faint laser under his foot. This isn't a detonator, Ayan murmured. It's a trigger for the next phase of the lockdown. That sounds worse, Rafi snapped through clenched teeth. It is, Ayan replied calmly. If you lift your foot, every door in this building seals. And the cops get an automated alert. Rafi blinked. The cops. Ayan pointed to a blinking diode on the ceiling. Silent alarm. Connected directly to Malik's private security HQs. Zara's voice was barely a whisper. So they're on the way. Already here, Ayan said. A beat of silence. Then headlights flared through the foggy windows of the mill. Several, heavy, close. Rafi's eyes widened in horror. Ayan, please, get me off this thing. Ayan crouched, analyzing the mechanism beneath Rafi's boot. It was primitive but sensitive old Cold War tech, designed to lock down a facility rather than kill intruders outright. He traced the laser to a small receiver embedded in the floor. When I say move, move exactly when I tell you. Not a fraction sooner. Rafi nodded frantically. Ayan inhaled deeply. 3. Rafi's breath hitched. 2. Zara gripped the crate, knuckles white. 1. Ayan slammed his weight onto Rafi's foot, pinning the plate down. Move now. Rafi leaped sideways, crashing to the ground. Ayan held pressure on the plate, muscles screaming. Zara rushed forward, sliding the crate over, and together they swapped the full weight of it onto the sensor. Ayan pulled back, gasping. It held. For a moment, none of them spoke. Then the silence shattered. The mill's front doors slammed shut with a metallic roar. All three froze. The lockdown had engaged anyway. Ayan felt dread coiled tight in his chest. "They're sealing us in," he whispered. Zara's voice trembled. "Who?" Ayan didn't look away from the thick steel doors now locking into place. Malik's kill team. Through the fogged windows, dark figures spread out, armored, armed. Efficient, Rafi scrambled backward. "We're dead. We're dead, Ayan." Ayan clenched his jaw. Not yet. He turned toward a narrow maintenance tunnel at the rear of the mill, one he saw earlier when the storm briefly knocked loose a hanging sheet of metal. "Our way out isn't through them." He pointed to the tunnel. "It's down there." The tunnel entrance yawned like a black throat, half covered by a dangling sheet of corroded metal. Water dripped into it in steady, echoing taps, like a clock counting down. Ayan grabbed the metal and pulled hard. It screeched open, revealing a narrow descent coated in grime and darkness. Rafi stared at it, horrified. "We're going in there?" Ayan didn't look back. "Unless you want to stay here and welcome Governor Malik's death squad personally," as if on cue. The muffled thud of boots echoed outside. Shadows moved like wolves, circling a trapped animal. Zara stepped closer to Ayan, whispering, "Are you sure this tunnel leads out?" Ayan hesitated, just a fraction of a second. "It's a maintenance shaft. It has to lead somewhere." Rafi groaned. "That sounds like a guess." Ayan grabbed his collar. "You betrayed me, Rafi. Right now, you're lucky I'm not leaving you tied to the vault." Rafi shoved him back. "You think you're some hero. You were going to take the biggest cut." Ayan didn't flinch, "Because I did the biggest work." Zara stepped between them. "Enough. We can hate each other later, preferably when armed men aren't surrounding the building." Outside, radios crackled. A distorted voice spoke through a loudspeaker. "We know you're inside. Drop your weapons and come out with your hands raised." Rafi paled. "They don't want us alive, do they?" Ayan shook his head slowly. "No. They want the vault unopened on anyone who saw what's inside erased." "What is inside?" Zara whispered. Ayan met her eyes. "I don't know. But whatever it is, it wasn't diamonds." The loudspeaker barked again. "You have 10 seconds." Ayan moved fast. "Into the tunnel, go." "Go." Zara slid inside first, crouching into the darkness. Rafi followed, muttering prayers under his breath. Ayan ducked in last, pulling the metal sheet back into place just as a flashbang clattered into the room behind them. Boom. The shockwave slammed into the metal, shuttering the tunnel walls. Dust fell like rain. Zara hissed, "Move faster." The tunnel sloped downward, narrowing until they had to crawl on hands and knees. Their breath echoed around them, shaking with fear and exhaustion. Ayan kept his flashlight low, revealing pipes running along the ceiling, rusted but intact. "This place must connect to the building's old drainage network," he said. Rafi grunted. "Drainage, as in sewer. Beggars can't be choosers." Ayan replied. Behind them, noises grew louder. Boots, voices, flashlights cutting through cracks. "They found the tunnel," Zara whispered. Ayan cursed. "Keep going. The shaft suddenly ended in a split. A left passage tight, cramped, descending sharply. A right passage wider, but partially collapsed with debris. Rafi pointed to the right. "We take that one." "No," Ayan said. "It's unstable. One shift and it buries us." Zara studied Ayan's face, then left. Ayan aimed the flashlight into the narrower tunnel. It dropped into pitch-black water, glistening at the bottom. "It'll be harder, but safer." Rafi didn't hesitate. Fear made his choice for him. Left it is. They squeezed into the narrow passage, shoulders scraping damp concrete. The air grew colder, heavier, carrying the sour scent of stagnant water. Rafi gagged. This is hell. Ayan crawled ahead, pushing past muddy soil and broken pipe fragments. The tunnel widened enough for them to crouch instead of crawl. Behind them, the deeper metallic clang of soldiers entering the tunnel echoed. "We need to hurry," Ayan muttered. Zara's voice was steady, but fear trembled underneath. How much farther? Not sure. But if the drainage system is intact, it should lead to a runoff near the river. Rafi snorted. And if it's not, Ayan didn't answer. The tunnel ended in a vertical drop about 15 feet down. Water pooled below, dark and rippling. Zara peered over the edge. "Is there another way?" "No," Ayan said. "Right. This is the only way down." Rafi shook his head violently. "I'm not jumping. That water could be toxic to shallow. I could break my legs." A bullet ricocheted off the concrete above them. The soldiers had reached the junction. Ayan grabbed Rafi's arm. "Jump now!" Rafi screamed as Ayan pushed him over the edge. He splashed into the water below with a violent crash. Zara met Ayan's eyes for a brief, heavy second fear. Anger, guilt, loyalty, all tangled together. She jumped. Ayan followed. Cold water swallowed him whole, pulling him under. The shock stole his breath. He kicked upward, breaking the surface with a gasp. Zara grabbed his arm. This way. They sloshed through the murky pool into a larger chamber where broken stone arches framed the dark waterway. Then, a metallic slam echoed above. The soldiers had reached the drop. Flashlights flickered down. Voices shouted. Ayan, panting, pointed to a narrow pipe outlet on the far wall. Through there, Rafi looked at it, horrified. "You want us to fit through that?" "It's either that," Ayan said, voice low and sharp, "or die here." They ran. And overhead, Moloch soldiers prepared to jump after them. The pipe outlet was barely wider than Ayan's shoulders-a-rusted metal throat, dripping with cold condensation. Water pooled beneath it, swirling in murky circles as the three fugitives splashed toward it. Behind them, the shouts of Moloch's soldiers echoed through the drainage chamber, boots pounding against wet stone. Zara pressed her hands against the edge of the pipe, testing its strength. "It's tight, but it'll hold." Rafi stared at it, horrified. "I can't fit in that." "Ayan, I swear a bullet struck the water inches from his leg." Ayan grabbed him by the collar and shoved him forward. "You're fitting today. Move." Rafi crawled into the pipe with a strangled groan, his breath echoing inside the tight metal cylinder. Zara followed right behind, pushing herself into the narrow space. Ayan glanced back. The first soldier landed in the water with a splash, rifle raised. Ayan ducked into the pipe and pulled himself forward just as gunfire erupted behind him, sparks ricocheting off the metal. The pipe was suffocatingly narrow. Cold, gritty water soaked their clothes. Their breaths echoed back at them like trapped ghosts. Rafi whimpered every few feet, his panic growing with every scrape of metal against skin. "Ayan, Ayan, I can't breathe." "Keep crawling," Ayan whispered. "If you stop, we all stop." Zara's voice floated from ahead, soft but steady. "We're almost through. I see light." Ayan felt a pulse of hope till a loud clang reverberated behind him. The soldiers were entering the pipe. Zara gasped. "They're coming in after us." Ayan kept crawling. Then we crawled faster. The pipe sloped upward, sharply, forcing them to brace their arms against the sides to avoid sliding back down. Rafi wheezed with effort. Zara pushed herself with fierce determination. Ayan heard the echo of metal scraping soldiers close, too close. Just as panic began to claw up his throat, the pipe suddenly widened. Rafi tumbled out of the exit and sprawled onto cracked concrete. Zara followed, gasping for air. Ayan emerged last, rolling onto the cold ground. They were in a massive underground reservoir, chamber-long drained. Now, nothing but empty concrete and graffiti-stained walls. Dim emergency lights flickered overhead, casting ghostly shadows. "We're out," Zara panted. "We made it." Ayan pushed himself to his feet. Not yet. A heavy metal door stood across the reservoir, barely hanging on its hinges. Beyond it, faint daylight seeped in. Rafi pointed. "That's our exit. Come on." But Ayan's instincts screamed. The room was too quiet, too open, too easy. He scanned the wall's old wiring, dead generators, rusted catwalks overhead. A perfect place for an ambush. Zara caught the shift in his expression. "Ayan, what is it?" He didn't get the chance to answer. A rifle shot rang out from above. Sparks exploded near Rafi's feet. "Down," Ayan shouted. 3 soldiers stood on the catwalk overhead, rifles aimed directly at them. Rafi dove behind a concrete pillar, screaming. Zara pulled Ayan behind an overturned maintenance cart. The soldiers began firing in controlled bursts. Bullets sparked against the concrete, sending shards flying. "We're trapped again," Zara muttered through clenched teeth. "This never ends." Ayan's eyes darted across the chamber, searching, calculating. Then he saw it. On the far wall, a row of old pressure valves connected to enormous rusted pipes. One of the pipes ran directly beneath the catwalk the soldiers stood on. And the pressure gauge, though cracked, still held a faint flicker of life. Ayan looked at Zara. "Cover me." "Ayan, what are you? Trust me." She nodded, raising her head just enough to fire a warning shot from Rafi's dropped pistol. The soldiers ducked for a moment, just long enough for Ayan to sprint across the open floor toward the valves. Bullets chased him, clattering at his heels. He dove behind the valve panel, grabbed the rusted wheel, and twisted with all his strength. It groaned, it screeched. It resisted decades of decay. Then it snapped loose. A deafening roar thundered through the chamber as pressurized water shot through the pipe, exploding upward. The catwalk shuddered violently. The soldiers stumbled. One fell completely, his body slamming into the concrete with a sickening thud. The other 2 grabbed onto the railing, but the rusted bolts tore free. The entire catwalk ripped from the wall and crashed down, metal shrieking as it buckled. Silence followed. Zara ran toward Ayan, breathless. "You did it." But Ayan shook his head. "Move, more will come." Rafi limped out from behind the pillar. "Then, let's go." They sprinted toward the exit door. Ayan pushed it open. A cold burst of daylight flooded in. They emerged behind the mill near the riverbank. The storm had passed, but fog still clung to the ground like low smoke. For a moment, none of them spoke. Then Zara turned to Ayan, voice quiet. "We betrayed you, and you still saved us." Ayan looked at both of them, his jaw tight. "I didn't do it for you. I did it because I'm not like you." Rafi swallowed hard. "So, what now?" Ayan stepped away from them, toward the foggy road ahead. "You go your way," he said softly. "I go mine." Zara took a step forward. Ayan, but he was already walking, fading into the mist, leaving them behind with their guilt and the sound of approaching sirens. The vault remained sealed. The truth inside remained hidden, and Ayan, scarred, betrayed, alive, vanished into the silence he had earned. The end.